Hello Uplanders, I'm YK2012 and today I'm going to be taking you on a tour of Alameda and Berkeley. If you have never taken a tour before or you need to learn how to register for one, take a look at the link in the upper right hand corner. Now on to the tour. Here I am in sunny California, Oakland to be specific, and the cities of Berkeley and Alameda are extensions of Oakland. So we're here in the East Bay, and you wouldn't necessarily know that it's sunny based on my Block Explorer, who is a snowman. But it is January. Hopefully it's nice weather in real Oakland. Before I get started on my tour, the first thing I want to do is to make sure that I have enough cents. Now, the maximum number of cents you can have is 11, but when you register for tours, they give you additional cents, the amount required for you in order to complete the tour. So I can see that I have more than the 11, so I am good to go. I'm going to head over into the treasures, and now I can start by clicking View Tour Locations. Once again, you must register during the registration times in order to participate in the tour. So here we go. Let's get going. Welcome Uplanders. You're just in time for a discovery tour where we'll give a glimpse at touring properties with great stories behind them in both Alameda and Berkeley. Both of these cities can be found along the eastern shore of the San Francisco Bay, with both being part of Alameda County. What you can expect on this tour is discovering the key cultural influences and landmarks found in these eclectic coastal communities, with the region at large being the fourth most diverse country in America. Without further ado, let's soak in some sun and get this show on the road as we tour along the coasts of Alameda's Bay farmlands, Alameda's Bay Farm Island, and make our way to Berkeley. First location is 2900 Harbor Bay Parkway. So now to get started, what we're going to do is we're going to exit out of this menu and we're going to search for the property, which is 2900 Harbor Bay Parkway in Alameda. Oh, there's a nice big property right on the shore. This property is owned by Thank Me Later, and we're going to send ourselves over here, pay the 10 UPEX fee. Here we know that we've received a treasure, so that's how we know that it's the right property. Go ahead and click it, and we'll see how much UPEX I get out of this. Now, registration for this tour was 2,000 UPEX, and here I have collected 100 UPEX as part of the tour. So at every location you will receive a chest. Some have more UPEX than others. And now we can go back into the tours and see what the next spot is, the Shoreline Park. But before taking a look at that, let's go ahead back into this property and see where we actually are. Pulling up Google Street View here, and not necessarily the best view here from that property, but this is it. So back onto our next location, the Shoreline Park. Arguably the most beautiful city on the shores of the San Francisco Bay, Alameda has bountiful recreational trails that circle most of the island. Established in 1978, Shoreline Park wraps around the outer portion of Bay Farm Island, with perfect view of the San Francisco skyline. A section of the Bay Trail also runs along the water and offers great views of the Oakland estuary, opposite shore, and downtown Oakland. You can often find bikers, hikers, joggers, and walkers basking in the California sun as they take in the sweet coastal views that can be found in all directions, just like the many visitors that reach these shores from all walks of life. Take your time and find the perfect spot for you to enjoy the limitless views of the sunset over the Pacific. Our next destination is 1251 McKay Avenue. This here is owned by Flow09, And we'll take a look at the street view here. And it doesn't look like there is one to this property. That's a little unfortunate. This is Crab Cove. When you want to explore nature with the whole family, Crab Cove is certainly the place to be. With plentiful nature programs and bay shoreline exploration, you and your little tykes can venture out into the ever-popular Crab Cove Beach, just down from the popular Crown Beach, to explore the naturally beautiful shoreline teeming with abundant life. You can also stop by the Crab Cove Visitor Center to learn about the local wildlife and ecosystem of this pocket of the Alameda coastline. If you're lucky enough to catch a low tide, feel free to grab your shovels and go looking for some sea glass. Otherwise, bask in the glow of nature and see plenty of birds, crabs, fish, and more as you explore. Next, we're heading off to 2401 Monarch Street. This is the property. Let's take a look at the street view before we send ourselves there. And this one is also blank, unfortunately. So 2401 Monarch Street is Spirits Alley. And Spirits Alley is an eclectic cluster of artisan distilleries and tasting rooms along Monarch Street at Alameda Point that has helped transform the former Naval Air Station from a once deserted area to a popular destination for both tourists and locals. Set within and amongst historic buildings and oversized hangars, Spirits Alley has a character that is distinctly unique, complete with stunning panoramic views of the San Francisco city skyline. Have your pick among a selection of award-winning distilleries, such as St. George Hangar, Hangar One Vodka, Rockwall Wine Company, and much more. Just make sure you pace yourself along the way. Spirits Alley is meant to be savored and not conquered in a single day, unless you have a liver made of steel. Next, we're off to 705 Santa Clara Avenue. The address for this one is a little bit tricky. We can see here that 705 Santa Clara gives us several options, where the correct option in this case is the one that says the city of Santa Clara, California. That's actually the one in Alameda. Now here's a pro tip. If you have other properties that are close to it, chances are they might have send fees which are less than 50 UPEX. So if I go ahead and look for one, let's take a look at this one. And see here we've got 20 UPEX. So I can send myself here, and I will still be in range of where the treasure is. It's kind of like sending yourself to find sends. You don't have to be exactly on the property. You just have to be in the vicinity of it. And we can see here that I'm able to collect the treasure as well. And I saved myself 30 UPEX by not sending myself directly to that property. We can see that we found a really cool street view here, which seems to be the inside of some sort of arcade here. Let's see if we can move forward with Google and see where it'll take us. Here we go. This looks like a cool comic book store. This looks like a cool comic book store. Let's see. This is Pacific Pinball Expo 2010. Very cool. So let's go back into the treasure and see what it has to say about this location. This is the Pacific Pinball Museum. That makes a lot of sense. The Pacific Pinball Museum is an interactive museum offering a chronological and historical display of rare bagatelles and early games to over 90 pinball machines from the 1940s to the present day that are all available to play. Exploring the museum will quickly show you that the sheer variety of nostalgic and entertaining exhibits on display, such as hand-painted murals, vintage jukeboxes, and of course hundreds of arcade cabinets with their signature lights, bells, and whistles to ooh and ah over. The fun doesn't stop after one visit, as the PPM owns a larger collection of over 400 machines. So swing by and check them out as they rotate in and out of public exhibits. Next is 200 University Avenue. 200 University Avenue is owned by UCEDA. Let's see if there's a street view here that we can get a good view of something here. Looks like it's right here on the marina. And again, we've got nothing. That's unfortunate again, but hopefully the pinball machine makes up for some of this, which was pretty cool. Now here we found a piñata. And this one, piñatas are a little bit different from treasure chests, where you actually have to go ahead and click on it as fast as you can, and you have approximately 10 seconds to do so. I'm not very good at these. There is a sweet spot to find in these piñatas. It's also a lot easier if you're on your phone, because when it's going from left to right, there isn't as much space on the phone as there is on the desktop. Also, when I'm trying to do two things at once, talk and click, I'm not so good at that. So I only received 144 UPIX on this one. "200 University Avenue is the Berkeley Marina. Do you smell the salt? We've made it to the Berkeley Marina. This urban waterfront retreat boasts over 100 acres of park space, 7 miles of trail, picnic areas, a 17-acre off-leash dog area, bird watching, educational programming at the Shorebird Park Nature Center, and nationally celebrated adventure playground, unparalleled panoramic views, and amenities for both boaters and non-boaters alike, with one of the best locations in the area. The Berkeley Marina is your gateway to the Golden Gate in San Francisco Bay, as it's situated on the east end of the slot, famous for its steady sea breeze. The scenic Golden Gate Bridge beckons Berkeley Marina boaters out of the fairway into the San Francisco Bay. Whether you're taking a stroll along the shoreline or sailing your boat out onto the open sea, make sure you don't miss the gorgeous views of the bay. Next location is 2199 Addison Street. Next location is 2199 Addison Street. This is owned by Freaky Man 51, and let's pull up the street view here. And here we are. It seems to be on some sort of a main street. And let's head back in. And this is UC Berkeley University Hall. Stepping away from the coast and further inland, we are at the entrance to the prestigious University of California, Berkeley. From a group of academic pioneers in 1868 to the free speech movement in 1964, Berkeley is a place where the brightest minds come from across the globe to come together to explore, ask questions, and improve the world. UC Berkeley was born out of a vision in the state constitution of a university that would contribute even more than California's gold to the glory and happiness of advancing generations. Before entering the approximately 1,232 acres of land that the university grounds cover, you'll find yourself passing by the University Hall, built and established in 1959. The 7-story tower at the west edge of campus, designed by Welton Beckett and Associates, originally housed the University of California office of the president. When UCOP relocated to Oakland, University Hall became home to the Campus Visitors Center and a variety of administrative offices, and a perfect place to begin an academic journey. Next is 1517 Shattuck Avenue. This is owned by Captain Money, and let's pull up the street view. Hopefully we get something good, and we are inside some sort of a restaurant or bar. Alright, this is good. Now, and this restaurant is Chez Panisse. You could say that Berkeley's business district is really a state of mind, colloquially known as the Gourmet Gulch or Gourmet Ghetto. This section of Shattuck Avenue has coalesced into a culinary destination unlike any other. One can get lost among all the selections of food and drink within the area, from specialty coffee farm-to-table, and local food movements, as well as popularizing chocolate truffles and baguettes to America. Restaurant Chez Panisse is often found at the center of the gourmet ghetto's farm-to-table food source movement, using locally grown produce through the sustainable methods. Known as one of the originators of California cuisine, this restaurant emphasizes ingredients rather than technique, and has a vast supply network of local farmers, ranchers, and dairies. An iconic and definitive restaurant of the city, many former staff at Chez Panisse have gone on to start their own restaurants, bakeries, and food shops across the wider San Francisco Bay Area, all tracing their roots back to Shattuck Avenue. And with that, we've reached the end of the tour, Alameda and Berkeley Discovery Tour. Thank you so much for joining us on this coastal cruise. We hope that you get to see a glimpse of what these cities have to offer, and we'll see you next time. Great, so now we've completed the tour. For anyone who completes this tour and gets to this page here and reads this last sentence, will be receiving 0.01 Spark from Upland. You can expect to receive that the next time they do Spark airdrops, which are Tuesdays. Thanks for joining the tour with the Upland Guide. I'm YK2012. Please give this video a like, leave us any comments, which was your favorite location along the tour, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.